What's going on, guys? Come with me as we travel to Indianapolis to play Indy 11 in the USL Championship. First things first for breakfast, who would have guessed it? Peanut butter bagel plus a water because I had to stay hydrated for this bus ride, which was about 5 hours, give or take, plus we had to stop. But to keep myself entertained, I picked back up watching Andor on season 2, and as I'm recording this, I have one episode left. And at the aforementioned stop, I picked up some goodies from Meyer. About an hour and a half later, we arrived at the field, had a chill little locker room to get ready in, and it was time for matchday -1 training. My late lunch / post-training meal was the rest of my Jersey Mike sub, and as I finished eating, we pulled up to the hotel, which happened to be right across the street from Gamebridge Fieldhouse, which happened to be hosting Game 4 of the NBA Finals that night. Moving on from the finals, we'll get back to that later, but first, gotta do a room tour. Nice little hotel, nothing too special, 2 queen beds, closet, TV, all that. Have a great view, which I'll show you in a little bit. We also had a third bed in the form of a pull-out couch, which low-key we could have rented out because it's the NBA Finals, and I'm sure someone would have stayed there. But anyways, nice little spacious bathroom, and there's me. But back to the view, you could see all the infrastructure they built around for the finals, and also, of course, Gamebridge Fieldhouse, and it was almost game time, so all the fans were lining up to get in. Not only was it almost game time, but it was also dinner time, so Brad and I went to a place called Bakersfield, had some chips and queso to start, and had some shrimp tacos and chicken tacos. Would recommend if you're in Indy. As you can imagine, there was a lot going on back at the hotel, so in this lounge that you're seeing, there was a lot of people eating, drinking, and of course, cheering for the Pacers. But we went upstairs, watched the game in the room, and when the game was over, went to sleep. Next morning, went to breakfast, had some French toast, eggs, potatoes, and a plate of fruit, and right after, we had our team meeting to go over our last-minute tactics for the game against Indy. A few hours later, it was time for pregame meal, and I forgot to record the meal because we were in such good conversation, but we went to Old Spaghetti Factory, and I got spaghetti and chicken, so you're going to have to use your imagination. Anyways, after pregame meal, watched a little bit more of Andor and took a nap. Once I woke up from my nap, took a quick shower, changed it to my polo and shorts, and it was time to head to the field for the game. And after a fairly short bus ride, we made it to the stadium, and they had a really weird locker room setup, so check this out. So this was the first locker room, had most of the drinks, most of the snacks, the coffee, all the bathrooms and whatnot, all the changing area, all the space to roll out, stretch, and get ready. So pretty typical for a normal locker room. But this one was like 5 to 7 minute walk away from the stadium, so we had to bring all of our game stuff, walk over, and then we finally made it to the secondary locker room, which didn't have all of that. But this is what we used for pregame and halftime. Overall, it was not a good performance, especially by myself. I was very bad in the first half, probably played the worst first half I've ever played in my entire life. And as a team, we got a little bit better in the second half, but just didn't have it on the day. So hopefully we can use this home stretch coming up and gain some momentum and string some wins together. Post-game meal had a Condado's fire roasted street bowl, which was actually very, very good. I think better than Chipotle. Tried to get some sleep on the bus, but finally made it home at about 4 a.m. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.